Fearne is meeting Welsh historian Aled Eirig at Brecon Barracks.
I was quite shocked today finding out that my great-grandfather, Evan, refused to join the army. I know from this document here that he was arrested and then he was brought with another objector here to the
That's
barracks.
right, yes.
So what sort of thing would happen once you arrived at the barracks?
They tried to persuade him to put on a uniform, to conform to regulations, which he refused. And if you look down the list, his name is there.
Yeah, Meredith.
Yeah.
Does that say 6?
6 months.
6 months? That's a long time.
So he would have be sentenced on this day, and then the following day, he would have been taken to a civil prison.
Where would he have gone?
Well, we have this document here, if you have a look.
This is August 1918.
Yeah.
The following cases were decided at Wormwood Scrubs Prison.
Yes, yes.
In London.
That's right. So that's where he goes next. And
That's quite a long way to go from South Wales.
he does get a lift.
Goodness me.
But if you go down the list, you can see his name there.
OK, so 5298 Evan Meredith.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this is they give him a category B. Category A was where they thought the person was opposed to the war on religious basis.
OK.
B suggests that Evan was seen as somebody who opposed the war on political grounds, which they didn't like, in that people argued that it was a capitalist war.
I'm guessing now from what you've said, he had such strong political beliefs that, you know, it was worth doing 6 months' time rather than going against his wishes.
Well, but still, I'm sure the majority of people in Abertillery would have been very, very upset by the fact that he wasn't going to go to war, especially in a period when, you know, families had lost their own loved ones. It's difficult to imagine how
It is. What an awful decision to have to make
Absolutely.
as well. So he was in Wormwood Scrubs for 6 months, and then
That's
after
right.
that allotted time, would he have been sent back to South Wales?
He would have been released from Wormwood Scrubs in December 1918, the end of the 6 months. But then once he walked out of prison, there would be soldiers there from the Welsh regiment to rearrest him, take him back to Wales for another court-martial.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like a catch-22. You couldn't get out of it. If you have a look here.
So the 9th of May 1919. So by now, the First World War is done. It's over.
Absolutely.
But he's still got to serve his time. So men still in the hands of the military and civil authorities.
There we are.
Meredith, Abertillery, and then it says Carmarthen. What's that about then?
Well, Carmarthen in West Wales
Yeah.
was a garrison town. It had its own local prison.
Wow. I mean, it kind of makes no sense because you want him really to get back to work and keep that mining community alive and put him to good use, but they were more adamant on just keeping him in there for the punishment.
That was a very controversial issue at the time, and there were lots of protests from public figures about the treatment given to conscientious objectors. But Evan ended up right in the middle of that row.
Yeah. Gosh. I didn't know anyone from my family had ever been in prison. What a revelation. I feel slightly confused and, I guess, in conflict about the information I just learned. On one hand, I massively admire Evan's courage and his strong-willed ways and the fact that he vehemently stuck to his moral reasons as to why he didn't want to go to war. Even though he had these severe consequences, he still stuck by that, and I really admire that. But then on the other hand, there's so many families that obviously lost relatives at war in the same area, and that's unbelievably heartbreaking. So it's really hard to sort of digest it all and work out how I feel.